everyone, welcome to another episode of Reaper Golf Videos, aka the Century Countess. This is Reaper here. Today we are back with the restoration or maintenance of the Mr. Fancyman wig. As you guys know, we started working on it last night, and this is where we left off. We were going to top it off sooner, but then all of a sudden we started playing with the side curls, and then they just were like, we want to get done. So I figured it was best to let the curl agree with the curls instead of waiting, because you never know. And so far the curls on the sides, they're working good. Yes, so now we're gonna work on the top, but before we do, let me show you what we're going to try to do. Again, as I mentioned last night, we've been watching the TV series Harlots. Really love it. And it also has imagery of men in wigs. And there was a Pacific style that I really liked that I wanted to use for Mr. Fancyman, but I never saw like the side view or the back view, so I never knew what it looked like, what was going on behind there. And every time whenever I tried to do his pompadour, like this really huge pompadour like this, I was worried that there was not enough hair. But then after seeing those powdered wigs and the kind of the anatomy from watching the series, I don't have to worry about that, because there was one pompadour and that was kind of like this. It was like this on top, and then the rest was just straight back. So, and then when we used to do Mr. Fancyman's wig, we just did his pompadour all the way in the back and then just somehow blended it out. So now that we know that we don't have to do that, we have more creativity. So, without further ado, let's show you those images real quick. One sec. So if you noticed, there was one out of those photos, there was one Pacific hairstyle that looked really good, which was this pompadour, and we're going to try to replicate that now that we kind of got an idea of how to do it. But before we do that, we need to restore the false hairline of this hard front. And what I mean by hairline, I mean basically, how can I say it? We are basically taking this comb, well, this brush, and then just brushing out little pigments here and there. And this is going to create a false hairline. This is going to be our illusion hairline for Mr. Fancyman. This will make it look less like a hard front and more of something close to natural as possible. Now, we can't really do a full frontal hairline on this because, we don't want to damage the curls, so we're just going to go as far as we can. And the best thing to do is just to kind of hold onto the ends and then just try to bring out the front bits as much as you can. This is going to be sacrificial. This is going to be literally sacrificial hair. Right. This one wants to come out. Alright, now, normally, what you would do is you would hose this down, you would heat it up, hose it down again, and then trim it to make a false hairline, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to, and I'm breaking a rule. I have another teasing brush. I bought 2 of these, so we're just going to, and we're not going to use this teasing brush. I don't think we're going to use this teasing brush for every bit of this wig. So what we want to do is we want to bunch it up. And this is going to hide the hairline a bit. This is going to hide the hard front slightly, these little squiggles. You want to get a good bit packed. You want to make sure there is a good bit packed, because we're going to repeat what we just did earlier. Right, now that we have that teased, we're going to once again, first we're going to brush the back bit. Now as you can see, there's something happening. Now what we want to do is we want to once again bring it forward, and what you're looking at is the beginnings of a homemade hairline. I'll be right back, one sec. I want to show you some. So here's our lovely wig for the Countess for the birthday celebration. Now this was just one bit of lace strip right here. The rest of this was a hard front. So what we're doing, so as you can see, I have teased it and bucked it down to hide the actual hard front. And as you've seen pictures of me wearing this looks natural when I have it on. This is what we're doing to this wig. We are basically creating a fuzzy line that hides the hard front. And that's what we're doing. And this is a process. This is going to be time consuming. So after the brushing, you want to kind of use a tiny fine brush comb and then just go into the teasing with it and just rat it out. This adds thickness. And then we repeat. See, show you what it looks like so far. Now, there is another method called the drag queen method, and I just mentioned it a little bit ago. But basically what you do is you're doing basically something similar, and then like I said, you hairspray this and then use a blow dryer to kind of melt it out, and then you kind of snip in a kind of triangular to get a false hairline, but we're not doing that. Because this wig, we want to try to use as much as possible, and I'm also not good at that type of a hairline. I mean, I've watched a couple of tutorials on how to do it, but I can never really make it look realistic enough, and I've seen wigs being sold with that false hairline, and I've never really cared for it. So this is a much better bit, and it gives you kind of like a baby hair effect. So yeah, what we want to do is we want to, like I said, now we're going to try to pack this as down as we can. And soon we're going to be getting these flyaways. Now we just brush it out. As you can see, looky there, the hard front is starting to disappear. And then you want to just continue and continue until you're like satisfied. And then here's another one. And we're going to try to get some of this, because like I said, we do not want to sabotage the side curls. So we're going to try to bring a little bit of this here so we can kind of make a little bit of a sideburn. Well, not a sideburn, but the blending of it. And then now we take some of that Alright, more brushing. More brushing. Alright, now we just bring, like I said, we'll bring it back. And I will admit this is not going to be too realistic, but it will at least hide an ugly hard front. Now comes the part we actually spray. You want to spray that, and then literally fuck it. This is probably going to be the longest part of the video, so if you guys do not have time to watch it right away, I suggest, pausing if you can, or if you're able, just come back, put it right down the time frame, because I don't know how to do that time lapse thing where you just click where you left off. I don't know how to do that. If I did, I would, and that way you guys can go back to that. Now comes the fun part. Right. Be right back, you guys. I have to go do something. Okay, guys, fingers crossed. We don't blow out anything. And what I mean by blowout is in basically causing a circuit breaker. Now, you're going to love this. So remember when I said we aren't going to do the false hair method? We're getting rid of this wig. This wig is going to be replaced with a new wig in the future. So I thought, and this is probably going to be the last few times we're going to be using this wig, the original Fancyman wig. So we're going to go ahead and the hairline. And you do want to put the heat as close to it as you can, because like I said, you want to melt this. Slightly melt it. Not the actual hair you're going to be using, but now, we may not cut the hairline on camera. We might do it off camera. Or we might do a special mini video of me wearing the wig and then just trimming it, because I feel like to get a better hairline, a perfect hairline, especially what I want for Mr. Fancyman, it's best to do it on your head. We're just going, we're not, like I said, we're not going to trim it just yet. We're just going to cut the excess. It's, as you know, in my videos, I do stuff spontaneously. Stuff that I say I'm not going to do, I end up doing. Just out of morbid curiosity, and then just a realization that, you know, this is probably going to be the last time we do maintenance on this wig. And also, I might do a poll. I have an idea for another poll. But as you can see, let me show you closer. See the difference? That hard front is just about gone. We do have a little bit of this hair. Let's see if maybe we can just drag that out. And then just one more. So I'm just letting you go, oh shit. My shirt's rolling up. Alright. We're going to... Alright, this is tacky. Right, we're just going to let that dry naturally. And hope to goodness it's not going to stick to the head. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. Like I said, we are not going to be trimming the hairline in this video. that will be for another video, but we are going to start styling. So I will be back after this dries a little bit. I also need to get another cup of coffee. And we're back, and I did do something off camera. So when teasing hair, you need to have a smooth upper base, and that's what we're doing. We are separating the smooth upper base. This is the hair that you're not going to do too much teasing to, but give an illusion of a smooth effect. So what you want to do is you want to try to find that layer. I'm going to show it to you. Find that hairline or track line, and then what you want to do is you want to try to comb based on that track, and then any flyaways that is not part of that track, you want to try to brush away and separate as possible. And like I said, this is going to be a process. This is a process, so if you're new to this, one sec, I dropped my comb. If you're new to this, it's best to just, practice, use old wigs to practice on before you actually start working on wigs that you actually really want to style. So also a comb with this type of stick is really good. This actually is on Amazon. Forget how much it is, but it comes with, you have to buy hair curlers with it, so it's like a bonus gift thing that comes with hair curlers, which is great. I needed to get 2 of those specific curlers, so I got 2 of these combs as a bonus gift. So, and then, like I said, you want to make sure the tracks are all tracks that you want, are just all in a line. Definitely duckbill, aluminum duckbill clips too. I need to get more of these because these are starting, I've had them for years and they're starting to fall apart. We have all the smooth section out. Let me remove all these clips and then just brush brush it a little bit because, like I said, you guys, you want this to be the smoothest and the cleanest of hair. Double duck clip, a clip on one side and then a clip on the other as tight as you can, like this. And now you have your guideline. Alright, now let me see how many clips we got. 2 more clips. Well, 3, but we're not going to use this one because this one has some blue residue on it, and I tried washing it. It doesn't come off, but I've done other wigs with it, and for some reason that's when it wants to come off, is when it's some sort of chemical reaction to synthetic wigs, I guess. But then when you try taking it off naturally, it does not want to do anything. So now this section here is going to be your pre-tease. So you want to try to, once again, repeat what you just did. Separate that section as best as you can. And like I said, this is going to be a lengthy video. So if you can't watch it all in if you can't watch it all at once, feel free to watch it in stages. Just be sure to write down where the time lapse, what was your last time lapse. Then you want to make sure the hair that you want is separated. There we go. Almost there. Once again, you want to brush. Even though you're going to be teasing this section a little bit, you want to keep that in place. Now, here comes the fun part. You want to find the sections you want to tease. So our plan is we want to keep this section as is. Keep this section as is. And here's the thing about wigs. Wigs do not keep a track pattern perfectly. So this section is not exactly like this section. So let me show you. See, there's that. And then there's that, which is more smoother and nicer. So what you want to do is you want to try to at least adopt the tracking. And so you want to take a little bit of hair as much as you can, and then just try to adopt it to that section. Because no one's not going to know. No one's not going to know. They're going to know when they watch this video, but they're not going to know when the reality happens. Alright, now comes the fun part. That's all fixed up. Alright, now let's see. We need a little spray on that. Now we're just going to this is the section we're not going to touch. So we're just going to smooth it out. Now this is going to require a lot of layer of hairspray, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. Part 3 will be posted today. We are going to just do this bit, and then the fun bit will be right away, which will be the teasing. So get ready for that. Alright, it's coming soon. I promise you guys it will be posted today, same day as this video. So, see you soon.